I run a six-figure acupuncture practice with 2 associates and a town of just 7,000 people. And I didn't build it by accident. I built it by making a series of very intentional marketing decisions and sticking with them long enough for them to compound. If we haven't met before, I'm Michelle Grasek, acupuncturist and marketing strategist, and I teach marketing for acupuncturists who want more patients in their practice. My clinic has been recognized in our community with awards for several years in a row, and we've grown steadily, not because of luck and not because of a huge market, but because of intentional decisions about how I position the practice, how I choose to get visible, and where I put my time and energy. And I'm sharing this because it's something you can build intentionally too. Sustainable practice growth comes from structure, not circumstance. If it's possible to build a thriving practice in a small town like this and attract people from an hour away, it's possible in a lot of other places too. So let's do a little office tour while we're chatting. I always think it's fun to see behind the scenes of other people's practices, and I want you to see what this sustainable growth actually looks like. I opened this practice in April of 2019. It's my second practice in a new town with no existing patient base. 10 months after I opened, the pandemic hit and wiped out most of the early growth that I had built. What changed everything wasn't doing even more marketing. It was making one very clear decision. I chose to lean into cosmetic acupuncture and make it the center of my brand. Not because it was trendy, not because it looked strategic on paper, but because it's the work that I genuinely love, feel confident in, and want to be known for. And I knew that that decision would give my marketing a center of gravity. It doesn't limit what I treat. Instead, it gives everything direction. Once that was clear, every marketing effort worked harder. My messaging became consistent, my content became easier to create, referrals became more specific, and our authority in the community really grew. The most important part is that alignment compounded. Patients began driving to the office from an hour away. I expanded, I hired associates. Growth feels steady and not chaotic. Now, of course, I did not get this perfect immediately. I rebranded twice. I spent over $1,000 on my first branding kit, used it for maybe a year, and then realized it wasn't aligned for the long term. Eventually, I simplified and built out branding that was actually a great fit. And that whole process isn't failure, it's feedback. Clarity comes from doing, adjusting, and committing, not waiting for perfection. From the outside, my marketing looks very consistent, and internally, it's actually very simple. I rely on 3 consistent visibility channels: search, referrals, and community presence. And I didn't add everything at once. I layered it on after the foundation was clear. And that's the part that most people don't see from the outside. The scaffolding beneath that visible success. My marketing didn't suddenly work because I found a magic bullet. There is no magic bullet. It worked because the foundation was steady, the positioning was clear, and the visibility was aligned with the message. When that happens, marketing stops feeling random, chaotic, or frustrating. And it stops feeling personal. If something underperforms, it's just data. It's not a reflection of your worth or whether you're good enough as an acupuncturist or whether you can actually learn this, because you can. That's what strategy does. It replaces randomness with structure. It replaces chaos with clarity. Clarity creates sustainable growth. In the next video, I'll show you how to turn that clarity into something repeatable, so your marketing doesn't depend on starting from scratch every time you show up. The link to the next video is in the description. I'll see you there.